Good morning, students. This is Seth Vidya Mandir, English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. It is the HSC Online Audio Video Lecture Series, and I'm Bina Raikar, your OC teacher, and continuation of chapter number 4, Business Services. And now the topic which I'm going to explain is types of fire insurance. Fire insurance, the meaning of fire insurance is it protects the insured against the risk of fire. Any property which is subject to damage by fire can be insured against fire. The loss due to fire, lightning and explosion is also covered by fire insurance. Fire insurance is for protection and not for profit. The amount of premium of fire insurance depends upon the value of subject matter, place of storage and extent of risk involved. Fire insurance protects against the risk of damage by fire to property and your assets. Now we have different types of fire insurance policies. We have the valued policy, average policy, specific policy, floating policy, excess policy, reinstatement policy, comprehensive policy, consequential loss policy, sprinkler leakage policy. Let's go to the first one. Okay, the first one is the valued policy. Now, what do you mean by the valued policy? It is a type of policy where the value of the subject matter of insurance is agreed upon at the time of making the contract. The insurer has to pay a specified amount or value irrespective of the amount of loss caused due to the fire. Value policy is taken for those goods whose value becomes difficult to calculate in case of loss by fire. These types of policies can be taken for art, work, painting, sculptures, etc., where the value of damaged articles becomes difficult to access or to measure. Okay, so when you have to take a policy on sculptures, paintings, okay, it is valued policy. The next one is the average policy. It is a policy which agrees on average clause. If the subject matter is not insured as per the exact market value or it is undervalued, then the insurer is liable to pay that percentage of the loss for which it is insured. So percentage is very important. For example, if a policy is taken for 1 lakh against the market value of 2 lakhs, it means, for example, this house which you can see over here, the market value is 2 lakhs, but the insurance policy is taken for 1 lakh. Okay, and the loss incurred due to fire is 50,000. Then what the insurance company will do is it will pay only 25,000, okay, to the owner of this house. I'm repeating again, it is liable to pay the percentage of loss for which is insured. Okay, now the example is, you see a house over here, it is on fire. The policy is taken for 1 lakh, whereas the market value of this house is 2 lakhs. So when the loss is incurred due to fire, it is 50,000. The actual loss is 50,000. But since a percentage is to be taken into consideration, the insurance company will pay 25,000 only. That is called as average policy. It contains an average clause. Let's go to the third one. The third one is specific policy. In this case of specific policy, the property is insured for a definite sum, irrespective of the market value. If there is a loss, the stated amount will have to be paid to the policy holder. But the actual value of the subject matter is not considered in this respect. Okay, that is, for example, the property of 1 lakh is insured for rupees 75,000. Okay, you see the small house over here. Okay, now this house, okay, it is insured for 75,000 and the actual value of this property is 1 lakh. Now due to loss, okay, for fire is rupees 40,000, then the insurance company will pay 40,000 is in full as compensation, because this policy is for a definite sum irrespective of the market value. I'm repeating again, this house, the market value is 1 lakh, but it has been insured for 75,000. Now the property has been damaged due to fire and the loss is rupees 40,000. Then the insurance company will pay 40,000 in full as compensation. Let's go to the fourth one. Fourth one is floating policy. Floating policy is, it can be taken for those goods which are lying in different localities or godowns or warehouse. Since the quantity of goods lying at different places fluctuate from time to time, it becomes difficult for the owner to take specific policy. So businessmen and traders take fluctuating policy. Such a policy is usually taken under one sum and one premium for goods lying at different places. Okay students, you understood what you mean by floating policy? Floating policy means the goods are lying at different locations or godowns and warehouses. Okay, now the quantity of goods lying in different locations are different and it often fluctuations. So it becomes difficult for the owner to take a specific policy. So what the traders do is, they take a policy for one sum and one premium and for the goods lying at different places. So it is just one simple one floating policy for all the goods lying at all different locations. The fifth one, excess policy. Excess policy is taken when the value of the stock in the market constantly fluctuates. In such an instant, it is not advisable to take one policy of certain sum, but instead two policies can be taken. One policy is for the minimum amount below which value of the stock never falls, and another policy is to cover the excess value by which the price of goods fluctuate. Okay, for example, now the value of stock ranges between 1,50,000 to 2 lakhs. Then one policy is taken for 1,50,000 and another policy is taken for the excess amount of 50,000. Okay, you mean that when the value of goods and stocks fluctuate, okay, they go on fluctuating. Okay, they don't have one fixed amount. Then the insurer takes two policies. One policy for the amount below which the value of the stock does not fall. Okay, that is, the stock ranges between 1,50,000 and 2 lakhs. So one policy is taken for 1,50,000. It means the value will not come down below 1,50,000. And another policy is taken to cover the excess value. So another policy is taken for 50,000. Why? Because the value of stock ranges between 1,50,000 and 2 lakhs. So difference between 1,50,000 and 2 lakhs is 50,000. So one policy for 1,50,000 and the other policy is for 50,000. The next one, sixth one, is reinstatement policy. By this we mean that here the insurer undertakes to replace the property or goods lost by fire. In this policy, instead of paying compensation for the property lost by fire, the property is being replaced. That is, now you see these two pictures over here, one is of the car and one is of the house. So instead of paying compensation, what will they do is, they will give the car back or they will give the house back, okay, instead of the compensation. The depreciation amount of the policy is also taken into consideration. Rate of premium is higher in reinstatement policy. and rate of premium, and the premium is paid by the person who takes the insurance policy. Okay, it is not the insurance company which pays the premium. The premium is paid by a person, so he has to pay more in case he takes a reinstatement policy. The seventh one is comprehensive policy. Now, a fire insurance does not cover losses due to riots, war. Okay, this does not come under fire insurance policy. Now, this policy is under a single policy. Okay, comprehensive policy. This risk may be due to fire, explosion, earthquake, floods, etc. Okay, all these conditions, all this risk can be covered up by this single comprehensive policy. The next one is consequential loss policy. Fire insurance is actually originally purchased to indemnify the material loss only. Intangible interests are not indemnified. Intangible is what we cannot see, we cannot touch. We can see but we cannot touch them. So the consequential loss policy includes loss of tangible and intangible properties. The insured may suffer a great financial loss on account of dislocation of business caused by fire. What do you mean by dislocation of business caused by fire? That is, for example, my building has been located at a certain place, and because of fire the building has a lot of damage. So what I'll do is I'll shift my office from that building to a nearby building. Now what will happen is, because of that, I have to meet some expenses, for example rent, salaries, taxes and some other expenses as usual. So the loss so suffered is separately calculated from the actual loss suffered. Okay, that is called as consequential loss policy. It includes the loss of tangible and intangible properties. That is, for example, close down business after fire for repair to meet fixed expenses such as rent, salary, taxes and other expenses as usual. And the last one, that is sprinkler leakage policy. This policy covers the damage to property caused by an automatic sprinkler machine that has leaked or discharged water accidentally rather than in response to fire and smoke. The discharge or leakage of water due to heat caused by fire, repair or alteration of building, earthquake, war, explosion are not covered by this policy. Okay, we'll revise again all the types of fire insurance policies. We had valued policy, average policy, specific policy, floating policy, excess policy, reinstatement policy, comprehensive policy, consequential loss policy, and the last one was sprinkler leakage policy. I hope you have understood all these types. Now let's go to the distinguish between life insurance, fire insurance and marine insurance. Okay. Now what do you mean by life insurance? That is a contract whereby the insurance company undertakes to pay a certain sum of money either on death or maturity, whichever is earlier, for a consideration. And fire insurance is a contract in which insurer promises to pay compensation to insured if something happens to the subject matter, that is his property, due to fire or related events. What about marine is a contract whereby an insurance company undertakes to pay compensation to an insured in case of loss to him due to dangers of the sea. Okay. Now, policy taken by under life insurance, it is by an individual for his own life. Over here for fire insurance, it is the policy is taken by a businessman. Whereas in marine insurance, it is taken by importers, exporters, shipping companies. Now the subject matter in life insurance, the life of the insured is the subject matter. Whereas in fire insurance, the goods, property are the subject matter. Whereas in marine insurance, it is the goods in ship, cargo, these are the subject matter. Coming to insurable interest. Insurable interest must exist at the time of the contract. It should be there at the time of the contract. Whereas in fire insurance, it should exist both at the time of contract as well as at the time of the loss. Similarly, in a marine insurance also, it must exist at the time of the contract, also at the time of the loss. Coming to the tenure, that is the time period. The policy can be issued for a number of years in life insurance. For fire insurance, it is a short period, like 1 year. And coming to marine insurance, it is also for a short period, say 1 month to a year. Okay, normally it does not exist your 1 year. Then coming to conference, under compensation, your life insurance, it is paid either on death or maturity. Coming to fire, if there is loss due to fire, only then it is paid. And coming to your marine insurance, if there is a loss causing effect during the term of the policy, the amount is paid. Principle of indemnity, it is not applicable to human life. Coming to fire, it compensates for the financial loss. And coming to marine, it is for the financial loss and the insured is brought back to the same financial conditions that he was before the event. Number of policies, insured can take any number of policies in a life insurance policy. Okay, coming to your fire insurance, only one policy can be taken, and in marine insurance also only one policy can be taken. Then coming to beneficiaries, who are the beneficiaries of these insurance policies? Under life insurance policy, the beneficiaries can be the insured or his nominee or his legal heir. Coming in fire insurance, the beneficiary is the insured who has insured the property, that is the businessman. And coming to marine, it is the insured person or the company, that is the shipping company or the person who owns the boats and the ships. They are the beneficiaries. Surrender of the policy. Under life insurance, the policy cannot be surrendered before the expiry of the term, subject to certain conditions. In fire insurance, it cannot be surrendered, the policy cannot be surrendered, as well as in marine insurance also, the policies cannot be surrendered. I hope you have understood this, distinguish between all the three different, there is a life insurance, the fire insurance and the marine insurance. Thank you.